All right, Michael Gish here with Total Golf Trainer. Today I want to talk about some different release patterns. I saw a great video with Jordan Spieth talking about how around the greens, I'm about 15 to 20 yards away from the pin. I've got about 7 to 8 yards of fringe, slightly uphill to work with here. So I want to talk about 3 different release patterns here and how the Total Golf Trainer arm can assist you in feeling these correct release patterns to get the different results, trajectory wise as well as spin. The first one's going to be where we're going to set up the Total Golf Trainer arm to contact our lead hand. And now what's going to happen is we're going to be playing that kind of basic bump and run style kind of pitch. I'm going to hit it into the hill and then try to let the hill kind of deaden it as it rolls up. So my goal here is to try to get the red ball touching and then get the red ball to finish slightly off my hand on the way through. This is going to help me produce a lower shot. I actually landed it. I actually made it. So this first chip I really do like. This is kind of one of my preferences, a little bump and run using the hill, letting it kind of release. I have a 53-degree wedge here, so it's easy for me to hit that lower one. Now with this 53, in order to hit the second release pattern that I like here, is I'm going to start with the training rod just lightly touching my lead hand. And of course, since my lead hand starts with a little cup in it here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to maintain that cup back and through. So as you can see, when I finish, my lead hand has the same amount of cup in it. I have the club face slightly open. What this is going to do is get me back to not as much shaft lean forward, not as much de-loft to the club. So the ball will get a little higher trajectory wise. I'm going to look now to land it a little more on the top part of this green and then still let it release a little to the hole. This is what it'll look like. The release pattern was there. I let it go a little early, kind of chunked the ground, so that's all right. Next release pattern here is going to be the third one. This is probably the most difficult one. We're going to be opening the face, and right away when you open the face, it's kind of easy to put the handle slightly back. So now as the handle's slightly back, I'm going to kind of maintain this position with the ball forward, my weight leaning to my left, and I'm going to keep that contact all the way through and then feel as if I'm putting a little more pressure on that red ball as I get to my finish. What this will do is send the highest shot with the most spin. Ultimately, this is the one I have to land closest to the hole with the correct amount of spin in order for it to stop. So when I determine which one of these kind of shots I want to play when I get up to my situation, I usually try to look at it as if it's a 3-disc look. And these are kind of 3D looking discs. One is always bigger than the other. The third shot that I hit, that disc is very small. If I leave it short into the hill, it comes back at me. If I fly it a little too long, of course it goes a little too long. The second one, that one has a pretty big landing area, and so does the first. So to me, it would have been between the first shot and the second shot. Ultimately, I hold out the first shot, which is why I said that's the one I would have gone to in this particular situation. But every situation is different. So having these 3 release patterns, being able to actually adjust and know that you're doing these release patterns correctly is the most important thing when you practice. What you have to see is different results out of the shot to know that these are shots you can actually implement in your game. So, Michael Gish for Total Golf Trainer, thanks for joining in. Like, subscribe, comment to this video. Let me know what you're working on in your own game so I can help you learn your process and own your swing.